Hi, welcome to Walking Wilder. I'm Bark, and this is a intuitive tarot reading. Welcome in if you're new. Welcome back if you've been here before. This energy, there's an offering here. This was at the bottom of the deck, so it's something that's a little out of sight, a little out of reach, a little out of your consciousness, perhaps. But there's some sort of gift, perhaps from your higher self, from another aspect of yourself. But there's something being offered to you at this time. Knowledge, insight, something. We'll see. You're standing on a threshold here. Basically ready, see how she's standing there, ready to take a new step in a new direction, into a new world. But there's a little bit of a hesitation. Almost like, I don't really know what's out there. And we can't really, when we see the card, we can't really see what is actually out there. And I get this feeling with her of this, like young energy of getting ready to explore something for the first time, to walk out into like a brand new life. And that doesn't mean that you're very young. It's just the energy, but it can just as easily be this brand new chapter that's waiting here. There's a lot of wisdom to be found in this moment. Here's the crone energy here, and this card here at the bottom, Old Woman of the Dreams. To me, both, these two cards has this very much feeling of wisdom, of looking to another aspect of yourself to find answers to what the questions are here. It's a very calm energy, very sort of wondering, just what if I took this step? What if I did go through this door? If I decide to do this, then where is it going to lead? And at the same time, it's almost like there's an aspect of you that already know, because this is in another way something that's really, really old. I don't know if that makes any sense, but that's what I'm feeling here. Let's see where this goes. I'm not sure yet about the gem and the king archetypal energy here. Well, for some of you, the gem is a skill that you have. You may not have used this before, and in some ways, this might be what is at the other side of this door. That you kind of know intuitively that something new is coming, a new gift that's opening up, a new skill, something, maybe energy work for some of you. But this is like royalty. Meaning that this is something you have known how to do for a very long time. This is past life energy. This is something that might be in your ancestral lineage, something that runs really, really deep, like bone deep knowledge of some sort here. All right, Spirit. Talk to me about the challenge in this. Why are we having this conversation? What's the challenge of stepping over the threshold there? I have both my cat and my dog here today because we're having a thunderstorm. And the dog doesn't like thunderstorms, so he is here because of that. And the cat, well, I think she's just here because she can. Strength. There's a part of you that is like, maybe I'm not, maybe I can't do this. Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I'm just imagining things. There's a part of you that really have to overcome something here in order to move forward with this. Five of Swords, Ace of Swords, Knight of Cups. Yeah, this, for some reason, with this of Swords cards, and this is a brand new deck. I just got it today, so I'm still, you know, we're still trying to vibe, but I really, really like it so far. With this, that was my dog, by the way. This Five of Swords energy it's like someone is challenging your wisdom, your way of seeing things. This can also be yourself, this can be this part of you. But for some of you, I'm actually feeling this is like an outside energy that's challenging what what you intuitively know that you need to do. You have to cross this threshold. You have to get out of Dodge here. I don't know what that is. But there's something this energy is overlooking. Ace of Swords here, because you see things clearly. You know this is for you. This is not, this is not, the Ace of Swords is not an energy that's like, well, maybe, da 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 da. No. You know this is for you. Whatever it is that's coming, whatever it is that's at the other side of that door, you know it's for you. Here's the Knight of Cups. He's very much in his intuitive space in this card in my mind. See how he's sitting in the middle of the ocean. Actually, he's sort of floating around in the water, connecting to, the universe. And this is almost like a portal energy. So it's like you already intuitively know. Actually, you have already been there in some sort of other, maybe at night when you're sleeping, or, in another lifetime. Whatever it is, this is known territory. This is deep, again, bone deep wisdom. This is not, new to you. But you are being challenged on it. And now this can be someone, in your family or your friend group or whatever. I'm feeling a somewhat excited energy around this. So, if you're like, oh, I'm going to be taking this this class on healing, or whatever it is for you, and then this person or this energy is like, oh my goodness, why are you doing that voodoo stuff, or whatever. There's like a judgment in this, some sort of like, oh, you just cannot be serious that you're going to do that type of thing. All right, tell me more about the challenge here, Spirit. Nine of Cups. Here's the Nine of Cups here. Ten of Swords and the Emperor. I'm going to take the Ten of Swords here. Yeah, here's the Two of Wands. There's, let's see, can you see that? Yeah, there's a choice to be made here. And I feel it's you having to choose, who am I going to listen to? And at the same time, when I'm saying that, I'm kind of like seeing someone laughing in the corner going like, this is not a choice. This is not a choice. I know this is for me. This is a strange energy. I think I say that in almost every reading. And it is, just in different ways. But yeah, the Nine of Cups is your wish fulfillment. Your individualized happiness, what makes you happy, not dependent on someone else. You don't have that last cup here, but it's like there's balance for you. See how there's like, this is you knowing that this is your happiness. And here's the Emperor, which can be this energy of being strict. Now this is the other energy here, the other person, the other whatever it is. I think it's a person. For some of you it might be the father figure, or someone that you look up to, or go to for advice, go to, someone you normally would ask, well, do you think this is a good idea? That type of thing. But you also know that that is not going to be received well. Here's the Ten of Swords. You know already that this person is not going to see this the same way that you do. Now, the Ten of Swords is also the end of a cycle. So whatever it is, and this might for some of you have been a discussion that's been going on for a while, where you've been trying, you've been standing there looking out the doorway and being like, should I take this step? Should I pursue this? Or, should I not? Here's the sacred marriage cards. For some of you, this can be, a spouse that's not really, and there's the pilgrim card underneath it. Yeah, there can, for some of you, this is a marriage, a spouse, a romantic connection of some sorts, that is just not on board with this. Probably because as this has been going on, and again, I feel like this offering from Spirit has been here for a while. You have kind of intuitively known it was like right over here in the corner. See how he's sitting here looking at it. This is like Spirit offering something, a new world, a new beginning, a new portal. It's like step in here, past the threshold. I can't speak today. Sorry, guys. And see what is out there. Connect, to all of this and this new gift that, is really not new. You've always had it. You're just now experiencing it in this lifetime, if that makes sense. And this may threaten this whole, sometimes if people are on a different, um, I'm seeing the word wavelength, but it's on a different path. They may not understand why this is calling you so much, and that might be a level of fear trying to here's the magician. This they might be like, again, what kind of voodoo is this? I keep saying that word because I have a friend I love dearly that said that to me once. She's like, what is up with all that stuff you're doing? um Anyway, if you're watching, Dee, I love you. Um, so, but, here's nevertheless, there's a decision that you need to make here. All right, so what's the problem with the decision? What's going to be the consequence of the decision, Spirit? I kind of feel like asking that. I don't know. Let's see what. Knight of Swords. Five of Wands, yeah. There's going to be discussions. This is not going to go over easy, but we already knew that with the Five of Swords. But there are going to be, some button heads and some not, some conversations around this that are not necessarily going to be pleasant. Here's the Nine of Wands. Now, in this particular deck, to me, that is like, putting up your boundaries, your spirit, your spirit guides going like, oh no, we're not letting you close here. So my feeling with this is that you are protected in this because this is meant to be, this crone energy, this gem, whatever this is here in the middle of all of this, this is your path. You are meant to find that gift again. You are meant to open this up. You're meant to connect. You're meant to step over this threshold. And then, the question is, what is going to do with all of this? The Knight of Swords here. This is a balancing act. And it might be for a little while is what I'm feeling with it. You might have to kind of try and balance things out so that, unless this is a connection you want to leave, which is not really my feeling with it, then this will take some adjustment on both sides, and that might take a while. What's the supporting energy in this, Spirit? The Devil. Interesting. The world. Okay. The devil card is, talks about fear and anxiety and, the shadow sides, betrayal, that kind of thing. My feeling with it here is that this is representing the feeling of the other person being somewhat concerned that you're going to be leaving the connection, or your energy is going to go towards something else that they may not really understand or they may not agree with in some cases. But I don't think that's going to last. That's the world card here. So that will be ending. That cycle will be ending. Um, Tell me more about that, Spirit. Nine of Swords. Yeah, there's a lot of anxiety around this, a lot of thinking. Should I? Shouldn't I? But really, again, for you, I don't think this is an actual choice because this is just the way it's supposed to be, if that makes sense. Yeah, Ace of Wands. This is the new beginning, the passion, the magic. I'm going to follow. This looks like something from Harry Potter to me. So in this deck here, so I'm like, this is the magic that is you. And you are meant to follow that. Four of Swords. See the balance that is here. There might be some healing required for this, but yeah, that's, things are going to work out. Tell me more, Spirit. Queen of Pentacles. Knight of Pentacles. Yeah, my feeling with this is kind of like seeing how, you're the Queen of Pentacles here, and she's, whether you're male or female, it doesn't really matter. Um, this is not about the body parts. But, energetically, see how in touch with that whole magic part of her she is. Now here is like bone deep wisdom. Here's the crone wisdom. Here's the, I have brought this with me for several lifetimes. This is what I am. It's not even what you do. This is like at a deep level, this is what you are. This is what your soul is. Whatever it is for you. And this, I feel, is the other energy slowly waking up to this over time. There might be this distance, this is a knight and this is the queen, so you are ahead on this, on this journey, but that does not mean that you can't, walk together, that you can't learn. And I don't necessarily mean that you're going to learn the same thing, but kind of evolve. In the connection can still evolve, is what I mean. If I could speak, that would help greatly. I hope this makes sense. If it does resonate with you, tell me about it in the comments. That would be awesome. And of course, please press like and subscribe so you get notified, the little bell thing, next time I put out a video, if this has your interest. All right, Spirit. Let's see here. There's the Nine of Swords again. Yeah, it's not going to, judgment. Nine of Swords and judgment. There's going to be some judgment here. There's going to be some discussions with the Five of Swords and, a period of time where it's like, oh, this is, Three of Swords. This is a hard energy to be in. Interesting. Here's the Queen of Wands. This is the Queen of Pentacles. Well, definitely this feeling of choosing. Here's the Two of Pentacles. Of you choosing between where you are now, and I don't mean physically that you're, I don't really feel you leaving this connection. And again, for some of you, this could be family, and it'll just kind of be a thing that goes on for a while and then it'll blow over. But there's definitely, this thing of you following this path of being abundance. See how she sits there and she protects her energy, but she's also very, and now the two of them, it's like there's passion, there's abundance, there's just this feeling of, I don't want to say magic. That's like, well, I mean, magic is awesome, but it's this feeling of something deep. Um, and here's the Two of Pentacles and the Six of Swords, which is leaving the conflict behind, moving on to better things. And again, not necessarily leaving the connection. Maybe for a few of you, this is a connection that you are actually going to say, okay, this is holding me back. I don't want to be in this. But that's not my overall feeling with it. Here's the Seven of Swords, though. What is that about, Spirit? Six of Cups. Yeah, for some, there's going to be some looking back at what was and kind of feeling like cheated out of something. Maybe, having to look at something differently. Or just somewhat being nostalgic that things change, and in the past, things were different. And if this is the father figure, sometimes, there's this energy of not quite understanding, how the world is developing and stuff. If if your dad is old enough, mine is 83, so sometimes it's like, yeah, Dad, but things have changed since 50 years ago. We do things a little differently. So there might be some of that it can be, a lack of understanding, from living two very different timelines. But that doesn't mean that there can't be love. Um, so, do you have some final advice, Spirit? The Hierophant. In this deck, this, has very much this vibe of spirituality, and uh, can can be like a teacher. Where in the original tarot deck, it's much more of a traditional religious type of vibe that it comes off with. Where here, the vibe is very different, and that might also be one of the issues here. That one part sees things much more traditionally, and you're kind of like headed in a totally different direction, and that might, bring a tower moment. Tell me about the tower. The star, yeah. There might be something that needs healing there. Ten of Wands. Queen of Swords. Yeah. There's good, the Queen of Cups here. So now we have all four queens. That's kind of cool. It might take some healing. Once you move on with this path, this connection might need some healing. However, with the Queen of Swords, that's very clear-minded. This is my truth. That's just the way it is. And the Queen of Cups, who of course is softer and more, intuitive. But see how she has the snake here in this deck. So there's also this element of shedding the skin of the old snake of who you were. And I don't mean, snake in a bad way in any sense. but growing, evolving, and all of that. So there's some element of being very clear about who you are becoming, what your path is, that you feel called to do this. This is my life path. That's the way it is. In a kind way, in a loving way. There's something here about finding the words to express this in a loving way, standing your ground in a loving way. Something there to be worked on, because it is going to be bothersome for a while here. Anything else we need to know, Spirit, before we close this out? The Lovers, yeah, balance. So the balance will be found, and you need to to make the choices that make sense to you. And again, for most of you, if not all, actually, you already know this is there. You've seen it, you've felt it on the other side of this door. You're right there on the doorstep, ready to go out in pursuit of whatever this is. And you might have been held back a little bit, worrying that this connection will somehow suffer. And it might for a while, but I don't think it's going to be permanently. That's not the feeling I'm getting with this at all. So, yeah, Four of Cups, some balance, one last card, and we got two. Yeah, here's the King of Swords, and he looks very much like, okay, it's, and this is where I get this, well, that's not the way I see things kind of vibe. I sit here, on my chair with two swords, and this to me is the other energy, and here, is you, the Maiden of Wands, on the verge of stepping out into this new path, surrounded with a lot of energy, a lot of intuition, a lot of, passion for whatever this is for you. So don't let go of who you are, because this literally, this is my feeling, is who you are on a soul level. This is what these gifts are about. This is what you came here to do. This is literally your path. Old wisdom that you carry. Yeah. That's all I have. Write me a comment if it resonates, and see you next time. Thank you. Big love.